Hello folks and welcome back. Sunny Sydney Harbour. It's the 20th of November and Blake's got the camera on our series leader of this New South Wales Championship, the Mighty Rag and Famish. And looking forward to a great afternoon out here. Warwick Rooklyn, no show. He signed off for a few weeks, and we've got James Brewery as famous 16-foot skiff operator and manager of and sheet hand, I might add, of the mighty fire truck up at Manly going gangbusters. Welcome, James. And we've got Bucko, as usual. Had a hot finish to that race last week. Bucko, welcome back, brother.
Well, Kilo, you know, you and Chits deserve about 1,000 points and $10 out of the till.
Oh, we took it.
For the, you know, Thunder Road Sunday or whatever you called it. But it's a hot bit of clip, and the internet viewing thereof is evidence of that.
Yes, and today we're looking, you probably get an idea, we've got a nice little breeze. This boat beside us, Rag's got the big rig on. There's a bit of a mix-up in what they've gone for. Triple M just coming behind them. They've gone for the second rig today, so it's one of those crossover days, and it's the first real time we've had it for a while, probably all season, where all the boats are actually on the start line for the start because of all those other incredibly tough days, lots of confusion. But anyway, today's a beauty. We're calling today Hugo Boss Sunday, fellas, because I like the sound of that, and particularly in the bar prior to coming out, we had a few ideas for Alec Thompson. He's in a bit of froth and bother. He's busted his bloody foil. Bugger me, how did that happen?
Well, Kilo, one could never know, but if you've got a thing doing 30 knots with the guy downstairs sort of looking at the autopilot and the wind instruments, you know, something might have turned up in front of it. I don't know.
He didn't see what he hit anyway, obviously.
No, but...
So anyway, we've got a bit of a plan for Alex. Hope he's listening to us, because somebody else might want to contact him. But we reckon he can fix it, and it's all about picking your moment, obviously. He's got to do it in daylight, and he's in the tropics, so there's a bit of heat around, but I think, and we thought this could be helpful, if he sets himself up, gets on the other board and gets that broken one up out of the water, he can get out on there and fix it. One way or another, you could fix it, couldn't you?
Well, Kilo, the
key, a few hours up your sleeve.
Key ingredients, you know, the battery powered grinder, bit of carbon, and some fast drying epoxy.
Well, yeah, you'd want to mix the epoxy before. Well, you go and do your prep, I think, early, and then go back and get the epoxy, wouldn't you?
So Jimmy can tell us, what sort of epoxy would you use, Jimmy?
Oh, quick as you can find, I think. You don't want to be hanging out there by yourself too long.
By yourself would be one of the key problems, though, wouldn't it, mate?
Oh, without a doubt. It's, you know, look, how would you go about it, like having to commit to go out onto that foil and have a go at trying to fix it? You'd be mad.
Well, we've seen him in the dinner suit on the foil.
He has to do it. He's got a long way to go, and he'd probably have to get it to do it a few more times yet. So if he does it successfully once, that'd make him feel good, I reckon.
Just a practice run.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, you might as well get it right, and then as it progresses, and no doubt it'll fall apart a little bit more, you'll be able to fix it.
Yeah, plenty of carbon. He'd have carbon on board. I'm sure he's got all the kit. He just needs to get a plan. Alex, get out there, son. Pick a day early on when there's some sun. You need some dryness about the preparation. So that's our tip. Hugo Boss Sunday. We're sticking with it, and I hope he's listening.
Nicely done, Kilo. Now listen, for the viewers, I think Kilo's gently understated Mr. Bury's qualifications to be aboard the Camera Cat today. Leading 16-footer in the Australian fleet at the present time, national champion in the past, halfway to victory, I think, in the state title, which unfortunately is sort of effectively the national title these days. But and also Jimmy's dad, Greg, former 18-footer sailor of some skill.
I sail against him.
And a Kilo of the vintage, against whom Kilo and possibly even yours truly competed. How's that?
Well, I think Greg, your father, Jimmy, sailed with Rob Brown at some point in the Flora, possibly. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, there's photos up at home of him on the Flora and on the KB with Port. So
on the KB with Ports and on the margarine machine as well.
Yep. Well, the memory's there still. Now I'm looking for this start line, and it's been shunted to the west of Clark Island. That's interesting. So Dougie's obviously decided to do that because, Bucko, we haven't had your weather, but this breeze was supposed to be a nor'easter, but it's got a little bit more east in it, hasn't it, right now?
Well, Kilo, the little cold front through Sydney yesterday, so gradient pressure east nor'east, and that's pretty much what we've got here. A little bit of thermal on top and a little bit of harbour sharing between the 18s and the 12s, and the 12s starting a heat of their state title, I think, just here alongside. So our start line towards the Opera House and Sydney Harbour Bridge side of Clark Island indeed. But all good fun and a good fleet of spectators as well as a good fleet of skiffs today.
Well, I'm just thinking, Bucko, is that a course 6 or a course 1 on the Flagstaff? On 1? Okay.
Course 1, nor'easter. So today we're expecting wind kind of 14 knots at start time, maybe around 17 towards the end of the day. Tide beginning to ebb now, so the conditions for the last lap getting a little tougher for the guys with big rig, and so we think that mostly it favours marginally the smaller rig, but Cooper's 62 Rag and Famish, for example, small rig still in pieces, and therefore with big rig, no choice.
David Witt would be looking very solid in his big rig in these conditions with the two Tommies. If he was here,
he's undercover in one chai, Kilo.
Well, no, he's due back in, so that means the big scallywag is set sail for Sydney town amongst all of that. So it'd be good to get David down here and get his race face on for the... all good, Dougie? Yeah, that's Dougie Cameron, the PRO. So he's decided to get down here and give them a decent work, at least in the first part of it. Because it is a bit easty.
Yeah, she's about 15 right at least of the normal nor'easter, which just funnels down the harbour. So this is more gradient wind, and the normal nor'easter is more absolute thermally driven. But it'll be a pretty yummy day here on Sydney Harbour, and the podium, Kilo, you know.
Well, there you go. I was just going to hit you up for your podium. You and James have got to deliver. Come on, boys.
Kilo, you go first, all right? Because
I've ended my picks. I'm a player. You haven't got to that sort of pressure. And last week I got absolutely nothing. And a lot of people got nothing because it was just that crazy sort of a day. And Smeg actually, boy oh boy, they probably had to only wake up this morning from going to bed last Sunday night. They would have broken the world record for capsizing and on the riding moment. Bucko, how many swims do you reckon they might have?
11 approximately, and
11.
That's not an exact count, but a lot.
No, they were dead set buggered the last time we saw them, and I think
but they were smiling, Kilo.
Well, they got them. They're painted on. Those smiles. But Smeg actually, so last week the result was the Rag, if you watch that clip, Rag and Famish, another great job, 2 bullets to them in this championship. Asco, great job by those guys to get second.
And they spent a fair bit of time on the riding lever also.
Did, but they were stamped urgent to do something spectacular, which they accomplished. And then Smeg got third after all the gazillion capsizes. They ended up lining it up so they could drift submerged across the line and take third. So
Smeg was a bit like the Formula 1 guy that runs out of fuel on the last lap and has to push the car the last 200 metres.
Exactly.
You know? It was perfect.
So on my podium that I picked today, I went for Smeg, but I'm not too sure about that because I got the second rig in. So I went Smeg. I went. Who did I go for second? Somebody.
Probably Cooper's.
No, Cooper's third. I went, and I can't remember the other one, but. Bucko, give me yours. You've had a good look around here. You would be more on the pace looking at this.
Well,
it's a big rig. A big rig's going to win it, I'm here to tell you.
Kilo's going big rig. I'm thinking there might be a bit of survival in the last lap to some degree for the big rig guys, but mostly the A division in the fleet has got big rig, so we'll have to accept that. I think Cooper's, Thurlow, Fisher and Smeg. Okay. Jimmy, your call.
I like Thurlow, then Cooper's, and then the Smeg in that order.
They've got to be in the order. That's what Pick the Podium's all about. It's a tough game.
So for you viewers, Jimmy knows too much about this, okay? he's actively still entangled with all these boys on a day-to-day basis, and the Smeg boys, you know, come from 16-footer racing par excellence, and he's aware of who's got a broken finger and who went out to the nightclub last night, which might limit slightly the performance, James. So on that note, for punters, Jimmy, who was seen out a bit late last night that we might hold off from backing?
The crew on the Compass, they had a nice little win yesterday, and I think they treated it like they'd won the JJs and spent the night out on the town. And I believe the boys on Asco went out as well yesterday for a bit of harbour life. So
well, that's important.
See, that's inside information that you can only get from here on the camera cat, I think. Amazing. All good.
So how's the time, Bucko? We're going to start this on time. Got the course flag up.
We're going to be on time for all you viewers, wherever you may be.
So a little bit more chat, seeing as we've got Jimmy Brewery with us. He is a bit of a keen yachty, apart from being a 16-foot skiff aficionado. Luda Ingvale's new yacht. Not new, reheated. Let's call it reheated. Yeah, it's been in the oven sideways a few times, so just simply its chances of getting to Hobart. We don't want to put the mocker on them, but she's certainly different. So
yeah, well, it's definitely different to anything that's going to be doing Hobart, as far as all the appendages that are hanging off it and where they're hanging off it. And if the thing can make it to Sydney, I think that's a good test. That's probably about a 40% making Hobart.
So we better just re-step a few points here. This is a 100-footer for Maxi for the Hobart race, having a largish rebuild program in Auckland.
Yep. Blakewell White, the Naval Architects.
Yeah,
and they fix up the Alzana, or what it was, Minolta, or Rio, and that was a good job.
Yeah. Not yet in Sydney, the boat though, James.
No, it's still in Auckland. I think they're just starting some early sea trials on it, and be definitely interesting if any video comes out of there on what it can do, because it's a pretty wild-looking design.
Yeah, that kind of a little bit like the Vendée boat, trying to emulate the Vendée boat a bit of foliage, not stabilisation quite so much as foliage. So I did make a bet with somebody that in my lifetime I'd get to Hobart on a foiling monohull, and I hope to see that pass. And we obviously wish those guys a great deal of luck. But the problems, as exemplified by Hugo Boss Sunday, there's bits of stuff in the water. Hobart race is pretty good. No floating containers or stuff like that.
There's the odd sunfish though, Bucket.
Well,
allegedly
there's only alleged sunfishes, Kilo. I've been to Hobart a few times. I've only seen a couple of sunfishes. I've seen a lot of other things that might cause you a bit of grief. But anyway, it'll be very interesting, because on the other side of the program, the Wild Oats boys have taken the DSS off their boat. So there's, at the one extreme, Luddy Ingvale and his boat with foiling, and the Wild Oats boys with the best budget in the universe removing one of those appendages. Jimmy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, from what I've heard, the Wild Oats boys are moving they're removing the bow foils there after they did the extensive modifications last year. They just apparently don't need it and wasn't getting used and getting penalised for it, so they're getting rid of it.
Yeah, 400 kilos out of the boat, but I guess that thing, if it has any more operations, it'll be like an ageing Hollywood rocker or something, won't it, you know?
Yeah, she said something. So I was just, Blake was just showing you the vision of fellow fisher Michael Coxon's got Peter Mackey in the bow today, no Trent Barnabas. You saw them, you saw Peter Mackey just getting the dagger board at the required height for Coco that he's wanting for these conditions. If you saw that, that's what was going on.
So Kilo, Harbour looking pretty busy today, isn't it? Plenty of little spectator boat slop and bump, square rigger coming down the middle, spectator ferries of various kinds. Wind speed right near at the start line here, 14 knots. Jimmy, you with that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, 14 knots, and I think building and nice little run outside to throw, isn't it?
Yeah, so if we can adjust our pick to podium, we might adjust it a fraction towards the small rig guys.
We'll see, there you go. Tough go.
Isn't it once it's in, or?
Exactly. There's a cut-off time.
There's no such thing, Killer.
No. On the camera cat, you can change your mind and make yourself change any time you like. Doesn't matter. But for the real game on online, Pick the Podium, you've got a cut-off time. We've bumped out the cut-off time for another 30 minutes. Should have read that on the blog. I try to get that to you, but particularly for people overseas that are playing.
So here we go, guys. Coming up 1 minute, and the breeze has backed towards a normal nor'easter, which tells you it will build. And we see the fleet lining up here. Pretty nice line that the guys have set here.
What's Rag and Famish doing down there, Bucko?
Well, he's going to port-tack the fleet, I'd suggest, Kilo. He's optimistic about his skill set.
He's on his own.
And he's on his own. Well, starboard tack is the normal way to start a yacht race, but Jack's a competitor, as you know, and he's got good men with him, so let's have a go, he said.
He's got his bow up.
Yeah. And we're into the last 30 seconds.
Go Rag.
So of the favourites, Smeg, Thurlow, both near the windward end. The Rag shaking up to the leeward end.
15.
And a lot can happen in 15 seconds in an 18-footer because 0 to full speed takes about 4 seconds. And the Rag has sheeted on.
And Marcus Ashley Jones is down there as well.
Having a big crack, and they're off.
Okay.
Clear start. No, individual recall. If there is one, it's Ashley Jones, I would suggest.
No, I thought he looked all right.
Asco?
Maybe Triple M, I'm not sure. Yeah, I was just watching how Asco punched around the back of the buoy at the last 10 seconds.
And the Coopers hasn't quite got the job done, but they don't care.
It's taking all the stern.
But they won't come out too bad because the other guys hurt each other a lot on starboard tack.
And he's basically heading for the normal start line, which gives you a good line into Bradley.
Yeah.
Tide's pretty slack, yeah?
Yeah, just a little bit of ebb at this point. So if you look at that, Kilo, we'd say that third rig's viable. Looking at Smeg here and Thurlow, both with third rig.
Second rig.
Sorry, old-fashioned me, bad.
Fourth rig.
Jimmy reckons fourth rig. Okay. Wow, the Noakes, struggling there. Yeah.
Well, it's only just really puffed, hasn't it? The last, 10 minutes or so, it's just got these little white caps come into it, so it's just on the way up a bit.
It's clock left and puff, Kilo, and that's not a good sign for the guys with big rig. So the Smeg and the Thurlow lead the race, I'd say, pretty readily.
Asco's to leeward and well in front of them, and he's just put, or Ashland Rooklyn decided to go back because it's really funky down low here when you're going into Bradley. So they're all set up. They're underway for race 4 of where Rag and Famish has punched right out there to leeward into Double Bay. So he's right across. If he gets some of that righty, he could be famous. So that manoeuvre might have worked.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure the Smeg leads, Kilo.
He's just tacked now, so keep your eye on his bow.
Yeah, no.
Flyers was online over.
Oh.
Just a handbrake.
Yeah. So, contest early here between Thurlow and Smeg, and Smeg leading fairly clearly, but there's a bit of A grade, and the Asco's back on a starboard. Wow, and the Thurlow, I think, might have to duck here. Yeah, a little. So there's the lead, guys. Smeg, Asco, Thurlow. And the big rig guy's looking pretty awkward at this time, Jimmy, yeah? We see the Peroni downwind of us there, mainsail fully inverted.
Yeah, no, definitely come into the little rigs, so I think it's only going to build from here, isn't it?
Yeah, hard to see anything to make it go soft. No thunderstorm type events. And the Coopers from there, Adventure, Kilo, okay, but in 5th, and also getting inversion from the, watch it, the Smeg here.
I got him.
Great tack from the Smeg there, fabulous. Unreal.
Okay.
And those guys are all going back to Bradley's. They know that with the ebb tide and the breeze now, pretty, not quite true sea breeze, but nearly. The old rule, first man to Bradley's wins the race. The Smeg is
Lickety split.
smack,
Bradley.
smack in the box in 3 minutes of sailing. They've got 30 seconds.
Marcus right in there on the beach as well.
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah, Asco probably third, correct.
Well, we've got a good race on our hands. That's the main thing.
It looks like a yacht race, Kilo. Eh? Maybe it's a bit closer than we think, that Asco with less tax. Is very close, but he's got to go behind Smeg.
Well, as we pointed out in the early part of the season, this year's Asco is last year's Gotta Love It, and she's got wheels on it when it's second rig. Crew list coming your way. Check it. And Sebby Jarvin on the sheet today, so the old driver of the Gotta Love It has got the playlist, I'm sure, for the rig settings. And Marcus is not a bad peddler, as we know. And we've got a fast cat trying to weave his way through the fleet here. The right thing, slowed her right up, and now he's going to get us, so we'll get out of here. Just gave us a major pull. So Blake's on Asco right now.
On the Peroni, I think. On the Asco now, yeah, sorry, correct. So the Asco boys.
Rattling along rather well.
Fabulous footage from last week. Sebby Jarvin back in the middle. Geronimo Harrison in the bow. And looking pretty efficient.
Tack coming up, we'll just set up off the back of them. We'll give you an idea of how they're gauging into the Smegglers. Smegglers are fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
You can see them right across.
But these guys now, Kilo, in the ebb tide, just going to sail long legs and minimise attack. So a pretty good contest.
Little future 18-foot skiff sailors here in their opties. Get a close look at the proceedings.
And I don't know if the opti kids have got eyes in the back of their head, but they need them about now. Wow, it's fresh little rig now, nearly, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just building and building, isn't it, Buggos? It's going to get interesting towards the end of the race for these guys with the big rig.
Kids in the opties are going nuts.
Trust me, it's already interesting for the guys with big rig. You know, we're looking at Asco here, a well set up rig, and inversion with the second rig. So the boys with the big rig are, let's say, up range.
And look at Ashland Rookland's Noakes Youth trucking there. He's got some height.
Wasn't he your other pick when you were talking earlier?
Yeah, I get lost. I'm getting a bit old. But I did fancy him. I hope I got him. So I had Smeg and Noakes and Asco. And I don't know what order I had them in, to be honest. Can't remember. But Ashland's cranking along here. Tight little race. Triple M is in it. Thurlow's in it.
Yep. So, I mean, Kilo, you're right there. I mean, the Noakes Youth's going pretty good, and Reese Maher on the main sheet, and sort of a young recruit, Ben Robertson in the bow.
They're good, baby. Don't worry.
Yeah, and we're getting wet, Kilo. Don't worry. Can you do something about that?
Yeah,
They're getting
Blake just got. Sorry.
They're getting wet bit, you know. Jesus. I've been wet enough these last 48 hours.
Well, you will go offshore racing, Bucko. That's your call.
Yeah.
Nice little drag race here. Asco and Noakes Youth.
Yeah.
And
And Noakes Youth a little bit better set up, Kilo, a bit more jib twist. And the Asco a little bit too closed down in my view.
yeah, and Asco's falling into him in my view.
Yeah, a little bit, exactly. Asco therefore just got a bit of lee helm, and that does not work. It's not a keel boat, but it still needs weather helm. Jimmy?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Noakes Youth looks really good from behind, and as you were saying, the Asco just looks a little bit tight in the jib, but Thurlow's out over behind us on a big right-hander, and keeps coming to him, and then it drops out of him. So
Yeah, but they've got a few cruising boat issues and a ferry on their wind as well. I don't see a Thurlow coming out of there too well.
Smeg for mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they do it well, don't they, the Smegglers? They got the playbook out in these sorts of bruises. As you
But
say,
Kilo,
they do the long legs.
He's better though when it gets squirrely. This is just vanilla nor'easter, nearly, not quite, but
Yeah, but he does the long legs, and he always hits the right shores that he wants to hit for the ley line. Now, you know, like you got him. He will go out and probably back into, and then set up for the ley line, unless he wants to go east.
no, I think he's just two more tacks, Kilo. If
Yeah, but he'll do it. He'll do it from this side.
Yeah, exactly. He's just two more tacks to the windward mark. And, you know, as we mentioned often, the tack cost in these boats is quite high, something like 10 seconds. Two tacks saved is the yacht race sometimes, so...
Oh yeah.
The Asco, Jimmy, have been listening. They got the jib twist up a bit since we last talked.
Yeah, maybe they're listening to us, which would be interesting.
Them and Alex
Thompson's
Alex
listening.
Thompson as well.
He's got onto the live stream. He's been notified by the short team. We've got to keep that rave going. Helping him out, hopefully.
Pretty nice wind in the corner here, and good ebb tide where we are here with the Asco against George's Head, but they're just rolling it over now, and they'd be pretty comfortable with that. Two more tacks for them to do the windward mark, I think. No more mucking around.
Well, he comes Smeg back in.
But the Smeg's come back in, so
that's his waypoint,
Yeah.
and he will lay. I would believe when he hits the shore, he'll go straight through.
Yeah, Smeg's
that's where he does the damage.
Smeg's far enough up now to do one more. So the order: Smeg, Asco, Thurlow, Noakes Youth. Cooper's 62, the first of the big rig boats in 5th. And the wind up this end of the course a little softer, as tends to be the case. So,
Bucko, just looking at the Thurlow. Thurlow, as James was saying, did all right. He had that righty working for him over there, and he's pulled back in to Asco and shook off young Ashton Rookland's guys. He's on the move.
Asco could have crossed him there. I'm not sure. He didn't think he could and didn't take any risk. And I'm not sure. I would have ducked, I think. I don't know.
Bit better breeze over in this corner.
And Jimmy's made the comment, more wind on the left edge here, yeah. So the sea breeze funnel works against the headland here. It's only worked here since before...
He's not on lay.
Before Gondwana land, no. And so the line to the windward marking is still slightly east of the usual northeast direction. Not so easy. Not so easy. Need to be up above George's Head, Kilo.
Yeah.
So the Smeg might have missed a little opportunity.
Yeah, well, we thought it was in the east a bit, and it looks like it is there. He's going to probably go right across and just set up close to the mark. He's got a nice little break here.
Oh yeah, he's very comfortable now. He'd be now just thinking about the run. Nothing to sweat on. Oh, he's on the high side of the white light. Traffic situation is pretty reasonable.
Manly Ferry coming down. He won't be interested in going there now. That would shut that idea down.
Oh, he's in trouble with the white light, so he does have to tack back. Wow.
There,
So that's a big bit of east there. Neat little tack, not bad. Not great, not bad. So, and I'm not sure that he's seen the Manning Ferry early enough in that little adventure. So
I think he had it, don't worry. But the white light was a massive...
No, the white light had all the rights, didn't it? Stationary, but full of rights.
About to attack now.
He's going back on the ley line, so...
And he's got Marcus
yeah,
to give some grief to.
Yeah, he's given a bit of grief to Asco, but what we see up here, Bob, look, the puff is up this end of the track. The puff's hardly 14, and the lull is in single figures. So the big sail guys should catch up a little bit, and on the run they will catch up. But the Coopers struggled significantly at the bottom half of the beat, as we would have expected. Big bit of east coming out of Watson's Bay now, and but there's the order at the first mark with about 20 seconds between each of the first three. So Smeg will lead from subject to accidents. Smeg will lead from Asco and Thurlow Fisher with about 20 seconds between the first.
You can't see Rag and Famish on the track.
No, he's hard on the.
Here at George's Head.
He's right back at George's Head, and he might be able to get a lay in.
Well, I doubt it. I'm just surprised none of these guys decided to roll the dice over on this eastern side, because it's full on east at the moment. Nobody's there to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Except for John Winning, funnily enough. He's way out the back of the queue, though.
Yeah, John Winning Yandu today with the big rig in and not looking too comfortable. And here's the Smeg final approach.
And Cocker has got the whip out. He's
and he's
kept them all honest.
He's keeping them very honest. He's marched up to some degree on Asco. So anyway, pretty good yacht race.
Who is?
Yeah, no.
Woody and the boys back here.
Yeah.
But essentially a mixture of two winds, Jimmy, isn't it? You know, the easterly gradient, hopping over the hilly, plenty of ride in it, but the sea breeze, particularly down on the headlands on the western edge.
So anyway, Smeg's going to make it our leader around the Beetle boys.
So the leader squeezes around. Asco's struggling, but we'll get there. Thurlow in third. And
Triple M's done a good job. Young James Ward hasn't had too many opportunities to get his guys to enjoy a good race. Today's the day. Right up there at about 6th spot.
Yep.
Fifth spot.
No excuse giving them a bit of grief. Cooper 62, a bit untidy, a bit uncomfortable. A few too many tacks. The Smeg off and no jibe all the way.
All the way through,
all the way to Shark. Perfect angle, so that tells you how much east there is. No problem, I don't think, for those guys. And the Thurlow here, pretty, just there, pretty slow, but probably satisfactory. And the Coopers, you'd expect them to gain a couple of places on the run with the big chute and the big rig. But to be a chance in this race, they need to be in the top three at the bottom, given that the breeze will probably build and fill in across the whole course as the day goes on.
Jackie McCartney has got the Cooper 62 next. And then it's tight between DeLonghi, Starboard Tacker, and I think he'll get there over Peroni.
But the Peroni will just duck and go around the mark, Kilo. So
you reckon he'll get there?
I think he'll get there. Or maybe not.
Not now.
For a bit of interest.
There's going to be pain and suffering here. Is that okay? My bad. My bad. Nah, the Peroni's going to squeeze up.
Oh, well done. A little bit of commentary from Nick.
Oh, there's commentary. There's polite words being exchanged, isn't there? The Yandu, Mr. Winning, Cam, the middle. Whoa.
Good place to drop that.
Whoa, nearly.
Young Ollie Hardest guys. Got the nice looking boat.
The
It's got
Ilby.
really pretty foils on it. We noticed them last Sunday.
No, well-polished riding levers they were. Killer, come on. A compass with a Yandu mainsail for some reason, which we don't get.
2 sore heads from last night there.
And yeah, and Jimmy had said we shouldn't put money on those boys, and well, that's probably correct.
Shawnee Langman.
Sean Langman with his self-confessed starboat rig, big long spreaders, new mainsail coming, and awkward. But
This is the first of our rookies.
big rig, Shawnee. Wow, mainsail held on in the bear away.
This is the first.
Not sure
of the
that was in the
rookies.
brochure.
Bugger, the first of the rookies, Lumix, the old
Yep.
Jono Whitty. So
Yep.
Jono's got a couple of colts in with him today as well. And,
Going around the windward mark with a jib in the cleat tells me that they better go study the playbook a little. You with me, Jimmy, are you?
Yeah, no, that really helps for the bear away, doesn't it? Here's another one.
Steve Quigley, yeah, he's got it pinned down. Pretty comfortable. It's not that fresh up here, so you get away with it. So anyway, we're off.
Meantime, the leader is down near the jibe mark, but we'll put the camera cat up to full noise and we'll see. Yeah, so as Jimmy just pointed out, a couple of the boats with little rig have had to jibe.
They get sucked up under steel points, not good, so
Yeah.
they've got to get out of there, yeah. For sure.
So, pretty volatile bit of the harbour up here in this wind direction. If you can get one good puff, it changes. You can change your yacht race, you know. So the guys with big rig, no trouble. Guys with little rig, maybe a couple of jibes to get low enough.
Rag looks like it's going to go through.
Yeah, no, the rag is in good nick.
Smeg's very low.
The Smeg and the other boys look a little low, Kilo,
Might have to knock off to get around the island.
from here. So the Cooper 62 rag and Famish.
Oh, yeah, they're pressed. But there's that lift off the island, so you'd reckon the Smegler guys know their game in there. We'll see.
Very fine line to tread, Mr. Killick. Very fine. Very
True.
fine.
Glad it's them.
Yeah.
Asco's given them a good race, though.
Exactly.
They're aiming at the goalposts on Shark Island.
Yeah. So, truth, we're looking at the lead of 2 red spinnakers off in the distance. Smeg, lured wing in the water, giving it plenty, trying to get up to the jibe mark, indicating a bit of overshoot. Cooper 62 probably going to come out of here at least in 4th place by the look of it. Oh no, the Cooper 62 little jibe. Still good though.
He doesn't have to go far.
No.
He'd be well aware of that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
What he knows is plenty on. He's actually out on wire down there.
Yeah, no, he does that.
So the Cooper 62, 100 yards on one. Beautiful jibe. Beautiful jibe. And we are not going to catch the leader. He's flapping the chute to get to the jibe mark, Kilo. So
Well, he's made it.
he's, well, yeah, just. Fair call.
Makes use that's got a hottie.
Yeah, and the furlough fisher we can see ragging the spinnaker to get up to the mark. Plenty on.
There's some good bullets here.
Plenty.
Young James Ward got the Triple M motoring. on a
Plenty
puff.
on. Wow, and no shoes. No shoes, close to taking a bath.
Berthing rights on the island, maybe. So it's a great race, folks. You got the Smegglers in front.
So
Asco.
Blake, come around to your left. We get a good shot of the Coopers here at full hose. Big rig in. They jibed out a little while ago. Might be regretting a little bit that.
Peter Harris back in the front. Welcome back, Peter.
Yeah.
Then we got the Triple M. Doing a good job of getting to the turn mark. Dr. Dan putting some good tunes together there.
So there's the leader pack. Smeg, Asco, Thurlow, Fisher, no queues, Triple M. Coopers hangs on here for 6th. And they've gained back a bit, but probably not enough. They'll gain some more down this run though.
Skim the mark.
It's a VMG run to the bottom from the jibe. Bottom mark presumably in its normal position. Cooper's jiving a little earlier than we might have thought, but
he's got the big rig.
Got the big rig. Can do it.
A few intrepid kayakers out here for God knows whatever reason. We've got one lined up here. What are they thinking, these dudes?
Speed bumps, mate. Cyclists to the harbour.
Jackie's just given a few paddling lessons. It's a way, no, it's one of our Asian
colleagues. Colleagues
yeah.
is the word you're looking for.
Yeah,
colleagues.
Just didn't get the map out. Who am I and where am I? In the road, bro.
Good pressure coming here for the Coopers. And they might well make up a couple more by the bottom mark here.
I tell you, he's going to make up some ground. It's Michael Coxon. He's low and just cruising at the moment.
Yeah, he's still got 2 more jibes. Any location on the bottom mark, Jimmy?
Just looking for it now. I think it is actually where it normally sits off Clark Island down here.
Well, we'd hope it's off Clark Island, but the exact position is important.
Off the eastern point here, I think. Oh no, here it is, mid-island.
Roger that, Roger.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Kilo, you got the little boat on the bow?
No.
I'm thinking, I don't know what he's thinking, you're thinking,
well,
but...
He's holding his hat. Good on him. I didn't have him at all, to be honest.
Off the radar, better turn her on, mate.
So, jibe angle's important here, boys.
Yeah. Fairly tricky work, this one, guys. Windward, you know, we've understood, if you like, in our expression, the bottom mark. How do you get there efficiently? 2 completed jibes, or get the angle exactly right and get in there for the jibe drop. Smeg's got in there for the jibe drop, and I think Asco will as well. I'm confident Thurlow would try the same thing. The 3 lead boats be pretty confident about their ability to get it right.
Marcus having a good look.
Smeg looks like they're a bit too early to me.
Well,
Yeah, Asco's locked out.
yeah, he is. Yeah, absolutely, he's locked out.
And Asco struggling to persuade Thurlow to jibe. But Thurlow will go, thank you very much for coming. And no, he's got down, he's good. So that's fine. And the Smeg, in fact, completed jibe, which makes life a bit tough for the old bowman in the drop.
He'll be good. Mikey McKenzie.
But Mike McKenzie, no problem up to the task. And they've even missed Joe slightly to jibe into the bottom. So the wind radar not quite on. Too much east here right at the corner.
Well, they're going to get there. They maintain their lead, but it's all on from here again.
It's skinny, and the race restarts essentially nearly.
Look at Cocko get in there.
Yeah.
Nice job. And
Yeah.
Ashland, Rooklyn.
3 lead boats. Pretty nice work. And no wind at the mark though, Bob. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very solid up at Bradley's. Here, wind speed down to 10, I would estimate, at the mark. Cooper's nice approach. Nice jibe drop margin. And they'd be pretty happy with that. So Cooper's up to 5th. Got through the Triple M. Snappy work here. Oh, they're a bit past it. Oh, Jackie turns the bow up. All good. Wow. And Peroni done well down the run as well. Wow,
Well,
look at that.
It was tight between him and Simon Nern. That battle continues.
Yeah. Plenty of rivalry between those 2 teams.
Keegan York. Back.
Yeah, the Cubs making life as hard as possible. 2.5 jibes in the last 100 metres. So we're going upwind now. 2 miles back to the top. Wind at Bradley's 14 to 15 knots. Hasn't built any more from the first speed, Bob, in actual fact.
No, you're right about that. And looking at the line of Smeg and the rest, they're going to comfortably get to Bradley's Point, which takes a lot of grief out of going into that funky air. So it's gone to the right and it's made it a bit easier. Normally they bow down and some of them get too greedy in there, don't they? Big block of flats coming though, Bucko. What do you? Some expectation. Well, it's large. It's size large.
Yeah, two, size large semi-apartment blocks tipped on their side coming down the bay. And they do make big holes in the wind, these big powerboats, which are, top deck somewhere near the top of the 18-footer rig. Cause of some difficulty from time to time.
Well, we always say there's a lot of course management racing a skiff on Sydney Harbour, whether you're down here with the 18s or up where you are, Jimmy, up in Manly. You guys cop plenty of ferry activity when down into Manly, the berth there. They're back to back.
No, they get the ferries, but there's been a plague of Rivieras, Jimmy, I understand, lately.
Yeah, no, we seem to have become the place for Rivieras to come and hang out up in Manly, so we get them at full noise, dig a nice big hole in the ocean, which the 16 seems to fit into the hole perfectly. Always come to grief.
A minimum size for the Riviera owner, he used to be able to buy a 34-footer.
No, you got to have the 60. You got to have the 60.
Or the
you
50.
Dig a hole.
Or the 50, Jimmy. The 50 makes a decent hole.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're right in it.
Ashland's bailed. Well done.
Yeah.
He saw it.
And so we see you've got the Asco and the sort of medium-sized Sydney Harbour spectator boat. Shall we call it that? The Hey Jude. Yes, indeed.
There are a lot of people on it. I don't know whether they're all hiding it.
Oh, well.
It's a shakedown cruise.
So we see in front of us now water just getting a little rougher as the day goes. Good drag race from Thurlow, between Thurlow and Noakes Youth. And Triple M got back in front of the Coopers in a little while on the wind there. But it still looks like there'll be more wind at the end of the day, but the sea state's certainly getting rougher as the tide ebb starts to build. So at this stage of the tide, tidal flow about near the full moon, a bit above a knot now on the course in the strongest parts of the current, and that causes, combined with the said spectator traffic, some lumpy stuff. And you see the guys going upwind here. Blake's on Thurlow and Noakes Youth, bouncing away. Little rigs in.
Sorry.
Water over the deck of the Camera Cat. But a good yacht race here. Smeg, probably Asco in second. Noakes Youth and Thurlow bothering each other out to the right-hand side. And
He's going to be the telltale.
Yeah. I don't know, Jimmy, what do you think? You'd go hard right?
Well, after watching the boats come down from the top mark, it was definitely more in that right corner. I think Thurlow's probably doing the right thing. You're going to get a bit of tide as well.
Yeah.
Some nice lumpy water in front of us, and the tide pressed against this side of Shark does funnel. Anyway, we'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, he's got his bow up.
Less tax, more current. Thurlow, that'll do. But Smeg has stretched him pretty readily on the first part of the beat, Bob.
Yeah, no, he knows how to get it in a groove. Those boys just do what they do well, just settle down and just look at their waypoints, where they want to tack. As you're saying, less tax is very good, and they're all about that.
Calmly into top gear, we would say, with apologies to Jeremy Clarkson, I think.
Top gear, and all this is happening on Hugo Boss Sunday, and hopefully, Alex, you're enjoying our coverage while you're out in the middle of nowhere, brother.
He might be just halfway through mixing up the resin.
Yeah.
Contemplating the job at hand.
How much part A goes with part B? I want it to cure in 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, I hope he does a good job of it. I don't want to be doing it too many times. plenty of carbon. I'd be getting plenty of carbon on it. Would you be worried about too much about sanding it back and get the torture board out, or
No,
you just
keying.
keep it rough?
Initially, keying's a key issue, but then a bit of peel ply works wonders, Kilo. I don't know if you've actually been on the carbon yourself.
No, I haven't. Try to avoid it.
No, I would too. That would be my advice. Leave it to the guys that really know.
I have enough trouble with gaffer tape, bugger.
Yep. I mean, I think, you know, in the history, the guys that set the record for this stuff were, yeah, the Frenchman that with one American, Cam Lewis, who went around the world in 80 days, and they had to fly a hole for 6 hours to repair the daggerboard case, which struck a bit of an object, or the daggerboard struck an object and the case suffered. So the instructions were, fly the hull for 6 hours while we do the fix, boys. And they got that done, so nothing's impossible.
Alex just got to get his phone number and ring him and just get some tips. But hopefully we've given him a bit of a clue. I mean, you know, you could be getting confused sitting in the mighty Hugo, wondering what the hell, oh, bugger, you know, like bugger comes to mind. So get on with it, son. Hopefully you can maintain the rage and fix it. That'd be a great feather in your cap, brother. Hope we're not being too hard on him.
No, I mean, Kilo, the other question we need to ask, though, what did he hit? I didn't think there were any sunfishes around there.
Oh.
You know, around the Azores there somewhere, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. There'd be plenty of things out there.
Yeah, more solid things that have fallen off the ships than vegetable-eating marine life.
Well, it wouldn't take much, something solid to do. It doesn't have to be that big, just something that'll just shear that, or just crack that thing would do.
Okay, the Asco on the far shore, coming out on port, looks fairly comfortable in second. Getting comfortably wet on.
Oh, sorry.
Can we pay a bit extra, Kilo, and get a spray dodger or something? I don't know.
About it.
Full experience.
Yeah, what's going on, Bucko? Harden up. This is a breeze compared to last week.
Harden up, Princess. I've been wet for 36 of the last 48 hours.
Yeah, that's because you go ocean racing, mate.
Well, the play comfort meter wasn't at the all-time high, let me tell you, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just a warm-up.
Here's a Conco's just chipping away here again.
No, nice work. But the Asco cleanly second, so he's in the hunt and well positioned. Probably can get to the women mark in 2 more tacks. Oh, the Asco will be now.
Be close here between the
well,
Solo and the Asco.
And the cruising boat.
Well, I was just thinking to myself, couldn't quite see his gauge on him, but he had some by the look of that. The bigger Ziggy Zag by the black yacht. Asco had to tack.
So a little interference to the cruising boat. I'm not sure that'll bother them too much, but they may have had to bear away behind Thurlow anyway by the look of that. So Thurlow gained, Kilo, you're right, the right-hand side, a little bit more current in general and a little bit more right-hand air.
And he's getting it up there all the time. He's got it sailing nice and high.
Oh, look, he loves a nor'easter, you know that.
Yeah.
And the rig looks pretty nice. Jimmy, you happy there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sailing really well here on the Thurlow. They've really stepped out off the Noakes Youth. And Triple M actually crossed Noakes before.
Yeah, the jib looks a bit too deep on the Noakes Youth to go upwind like the Furlow does, so I'm not sure. Both purportedly from north, but the jib on the Thurlow looks a little nicer.
Well, we've got Thurlow in second. Would that be your calculation?
Approximately, but only by, what's the shortest measurement we've got, Kilo?
A sneeze.
A sneeze, okay, we'll call it a sneeze. I was going to call it a B something, but it's a
Sneeze is fine.
PG broadcast, so we can't go there. Good. So, breeze on the left edge here, quite nice, and I think the left edge good from that standpoint. And the tide now, this is now the strongest bit of tide up this end of the track here against George's Head. So, but the 3 leaders are all here, so that perhaps tells you something. Although probably Marcus Ashley Jones and the boys on the Asco would prefer perhaps not to be exactly where they are, but they did have a little contretemps with a cruising boat.
Yeah, a little shake up there, just a bit more than what we thought.
A little bit, yeah, and then a bit less air, but it's okay. Full pressure, just full pressure, second rig. So
Well, here's the cross.
here's the cross now. Asco's ducking. Don't get in the way, Kilo. There'll be trouble. Little duck. They're not unhappy about that. It's okay.
Sneeze.
No drama. The Nats Nuts cross, we'll call that one.
Well, there they all are. The podium is in this little radius. Coco going now in front of us.
Well, Jimmy, did you keep tabs on the Coopers? They're not out of it, and it's a long square run, long VMG run after this Windward mark.
They'll enjoy that part of it.
And they'll enjoy that. And
Coopers and DeLonghi have gone right over to...
well, they're coming.
Park
They're coming up the middle, Jimmy. So Cooper's not out of it by any stretch, I'd say.
Not with the next run straight to Clark Island, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that'll
Sausage.
suit them 100%.
Yeah.
Long VMG run, 2 miles dead downwind. The big rig will gain, one would expect, about 30 seconds.
And the Triple M, very happy for those guys. They've
Yep.
got a couple of new jibs off Brucey Hollis, and they've had a bit of trouble just setting them up, but they've got them going by the look of that. And this is a nice steady day for them just to get their, used to be on the Mojo, they get their Mojo together on the Triple M.
So, Kilo, the Noxia's gone far to the east, to the Nielsen Park side. Looks like they've given back a bit to me.
All right, that's them right over in the bricks, is it?
Yep, right over, far over. So Blake's shooting in that general direction, so a little speck over there, but we're travelling to the top mark. I think the Thurlow might have one more back to the left here, perhaps. No? We're travelling to join the Smegglers.
Just looking at the leech on the Smegglers, mate. She got the hippie shakes. That might have been that little testing westerly last week. She had a lot of rags. Would that be the reason, Bucko? Just
Yeah, either that or they've forgotten to put the leash line in the cleat, one or the other.
She's not fast. It's not a good fast look.
No, looks like
old yacht.
looks like a.
Different way to jibe on the 12.
Oh, I think the hounds have lost his footing, Jones. The rate of turn went up. Here we go. Smeg second last tech into the Windward mark. They've put a good 30 seconds on them here, Bob, just by good execution.
Very astute.
Good execution.
That little skiff in the water is a 12-footer, folks.
12-footer.
Australian 12-footer. So we're pretty fortunate to be brought up in Australia, to learn how to sail and knock around in Australian skiffs. You'd agree with that, you two, because James, you're still sailing a 16. You could sail a 12 if you were more up the river on Sydney Harbour. They're probably more suited to Lane Cove and all that area up around Drummoyne than out here in the rough stuff, but they still manage it. Great little boats, exciting boats. And of course the 16-foot skiff class, you're having a ball in those things, aren't you?
Jimmy, we're just about to run into Matt Allen's launch. Hey, Matty.
I had a go on the 12s a couple of years, probably 15 years ago. Black nor'easter from Sydney Harbour, and I think it took me about a week to go to the bathroom after I was puckered up that hard.
Put the tools down.
Here we go. So the Smeg around, we nearly had an interview there with Matt Allen, the president of Yachting Australia, on his
not a Halliard issue again.
motor launch. The Smeg had a Halliard issues last week. I think we might see a little repeat here. Sometimes it takes 2 repair jobs to get it right, Kilo. You know that.
Just a new cleat.
If it's worth doing, it's worth doing twice, we used to say. So the Asco is going to get their second. Them and them and...
well, they've done well.
Furlough.
That was because they came further this eastern side, isn't it? The
That-
last part of the beat.
That would... Well, not the last part, I don't think, Kilo. They
Well,
sort of...
Furlough
come on,
was
yeah.
through by a sneeze over in the northern
Yeah,
channel.
but that's only plus or minus a cross. It's nothing.
Nothing to write home about.
No, I wouldn't send a letter to Mum about that. Or the 12-footer having a horror down there. Doesn't matter. Here we go. So the Triple M,
Fourth.
the Noakes Youth, as we did discuss, given back a little, and the Coopers looking forward to the long run. No doubt in the world
Now he's
here.
calling here. I think he's across.
You can hear him from everywhere.
And he did actually have to a little duck. They haven't continued it with any voice, so I think he's going to let that one go. And Ash, oh, yep, not bad. Not bad. Not
Two
bad.
big rigs.
Not bad at
Three
all.
big rigs approaching.
So the Coopers and the Peroni and the Yandu, and the Cooper's going to be around next in 6, and they'd be optimistic they might be able to around at the last bottom mark, perhaps in 4th.
Into a bear away.
Yeah, which is never that comfortable. And they don't, ooh,
Come on.
and they get nervous, ooh, and for good reason.
Okay.
So the next 4 boats all with big rig. Coopers, Peroni, Belongi, Yandu, Compass. And Compass. The next 5 boats. James, well done.
Yandu Compass.
Grant Rollerson back from his first wedding last weekend.
With a nice tear in the spinnaker.
Ooh, that won't help.
Negative.
Asco's first one to jibe off, get across. These guys are pushing tide here, so maybe that's an idea of theirs to get over on that western shore and jibe and get into that slack of water, Bucko. James, thoughts?
Nah, you've got to go the wind shift. You've got to do what Smeg does, I think, here. You've got to come down this shore, go to Nilo, and then go to the strongest wind, which is at Bradley's Head on this track. That's my
Theory?
not even 20 cents worth.
Well, jibe, the leader jibes.
And I wouldn't bother about the tide at all, Kilo, on the run. At all. Just go.
Flatter water over there. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, not enough roughness yet to bother anybody. Last time down, maybe. So, Blake's around on the guys going upwind at the moment, but here we go, Blake. Onto
Dr. Dan.
onto Dr. Dan and Co. They're in the yacht race pretty well today.
They're fourth.
In position 4, P4 if you're Formula 1 Spruker.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
First strikes again.
Yeah, Kilo, you got them, didn't you?
Oh, man.
Shot them with the arrow.
Who builds those jammers on those halyard jammer?
Well, Kilo, it's not a question about the halyard jammer. They keep trying to put smaller rope.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. It's like putting really thin caboose lanyards on your boat and going to the JJ. Jackie McCartney broke a set in a very good position, the whole crew in the tide. Why would you bother? You just go up a size. Make it through the race. How much drag difference is there in those skinny ones to the ones that will carry your weight? I don't know. Got me buggered.
1 millimetre.
1 millimetre.
Whatever 1 millimetre is in drag. Drag. So, nice from here, the Furlough and the Asco. Smeg got a good 30, 40 second cushion. Bit of sea state here, Killer.
There is.
Bit of we could get wet Sunday. Here we go.
Cool.
We're just riding with the Asco and the Furlough. down the middle of the harbour.
Pretty cruisy. How's Jackie McCartney going with the big washing? Cruising.
The Jackie McCartney's coming off Nielsen Park on starboard. So if Blake comes round to the left, Blakey, you can see the Cooper 62 coming around the...
Well, he's coming with plenty as well.
Coming with plenty.
He's got his
So
bag out.
he may get to the bottom fourth. And that might be where he might end up if he's able to manage things well in the last lap.
So the big rig of Cooper's 62 on the move. This is where he was able to do something on this big VMG run we were telling you about.
Yep. And he's just sailed into the back of a good puff. So because these boats go VMG run equal to the wind speed, and the puffs don't go downwind at the wind speed, they go a bit slower than the wind speed, so you can come in the back of the puff and out the front, which when we first started sailing properly jibe downhill, we thought was a bit of a miracle, but commonplace these days. Yeah, so, and they've jibed on the face of said puff.
So Rag's gone through Triple M.
Yep.
Just for starters.
And no cheers.
And no cheers. Yeah. So there you go.
So cleanly fourth, but plenty yet to do. And nice lay down at the bottom from there for the Cooper 62 boys. At full noise they are on the face of a bit of sort of 15, 16 knots of wind. You're going to chase the Triple M here, Bob?
Turn the music up.
Yep.
For
the viewers outside of Australia, Triple M, pretty famous FM rock station. Ran for some time with a fairly coarse brand of humour under the, shall we say, captainship of Sir Doug Mulray, an alumni of the same high school I went to. Fabulous Manly Boys High. Not famous for educating anybody, but famous for footy players, surfers and persons like Mr. Mulray.
Well, I remember years ago when the unfortunate accident for the Saturn rocket, I think it was going to the moon, and it had a malfunction and blew up, and all hands lost. Came on the news, and it was big news. Disgusting or unfortunate for everybody involved in that. But Dougie Mulray, I was going down the beach, it was just coming out of the 7 AM news, and what do you reckon his first song after the news break was?
I've forgotten.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man, yeah.
He's a star.
Yeah, and then subsequent jokes in extremely poor taste about what does NASA stand for? Need another 7 astronauts.
Did he say that? Did he?
No, of course he did.
Oh, man. Anyway, back to us, and
sorry everybody.
He'll be struggling to get to this, won't he?
No, he's in perfect shape, Kilo. Beautiful.
He's good.
Full noise, he's at the rag, and he's going to go around there in fourth. So happy days for those boys. Looking good. Looking good. Blakey's shooting her now, and
we'll get the angle here.
No, they're in good shape,
Oh,
Kilo.
good shape, yeah.
Perfect lay.
Just going to have got it.
Yep. So Smeg will lead. Jimmy, we'll put the clock on. You're in charge of timing, okay? Have got. I'd say, looking at that, the Smeg's got 45 seconds. Yeah. Furlow's got a little challenge on the lay in.
Asco.
They've been having trouble. No, he's not close enough. They've been having trouble because of the east in the breeze. Furlow looking a bit untidy. Asco likewise. Asco going to square run like a asymmetric keel boat.
Bit of pole back there.
Bit of pole back, and the Furlow with the no problem for Pete Mackey.
Get the hams out.
Ooh. There she goes.
Still a tight race. Final lap on Hugo Boss Sunday.
How about my guess, Jimmy? How am I going?
Mate, you are good at guessing. I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
Now Rags,
It's only a vaguely educated guess, it's all right.
Rags pulled up into this group.
Yep.
What he needs is for the breeze to just go down 3 or 4, doesn't he? A little fade.
Well, look, they're round pretty clean, Bob, and they're in touch.
Well,
And the breeze is now at the bottom here, below the range, but over at Bradley's it's above the range for their rig. So, kind of, you'd expect them to lose perhaps 20 seconds on the beat, but be in the contest for the
well, look, we come Keegan York.
last bit of the podium.
What do you call him? A bunch of thieves. He's come out of nowhere, Keegan. I don't know which side of the harbour he was on.
Well, again, down the run with a big rig, and he's caught up to Noakes Youth.
Yeah, I'll get out of here. Good on you.
What is it bloody on here?
So, the Yandu.
Yeah, do.
The Yandu fully lit into the bottom. Please, sir, can I have some room? Wow, have a look at that kilo. Oh,
Bit on his plate there.
yeah, all good. With a jibe, drop, set, cap, stand on end, stem, Christie, turn, whatever you could call it.
So our leaders are Bradley's, right on the queue. The Smegler's just right under the Navy.
The Smeg
flag.
and the Manly Ferry
Yeah.
interceding in proceedings, as is pretty normal
Yeah.
procedure.
Yeah, that's going to put some back. Drag quickly. What do you do here? You don't buy that. You go, don't you?
No, he's going to bite because the ferry's going nearly straight upwind, I think. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to tack.
Oh.
Yep. Oh, Jackie's just getting a bit nervous. Why would that be?
Want to do any boat work?
They could do some knitting. Yeah, they just went through the dirty air.
Good job.
Nice work.
Least amount of pain going that way.
Yep.
Peroni's hung into the rag and famish as well with that big rig. So all the big rigs are just chuffing around together, making inroads, particularly down that run. It's two sections of this race. It's the leading pack with the seconds and the chasing pack with the big ones. This has been a real battle between Thurlow and Asco. When you golf left though, they've got to get up there, set shoots to the island, Shark Island that is, and then a dash for cash when it all usually unfolds when the money's on the table.
Just looking at the crew list for the Peroni, you know, Nick and John Walton, the driver and main sheet operator. But Stephen Thomas in the bow, haven't known of his precedents previously.
Where did he come from, you say?
That's correct.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Might have let him off Manus Island for the weekend. Gonna get out of jail card.
Could be. So, Kilo, looking at the breeze now,
It's up.
uncomfortable territory for the big red guys up this beat.
Correct.
Water now rougher than hell in all reality here for
Yes, he's starting to head out with a bit of clip.
given various things and enough spectator boats to kill a brown dog. So, not very comfortable for big rig, I'd say, at this stage.
Haven't seen anybody on the riding leather today, Bucko.
No, not except for
We've
the
got-
guys that succumbed in the first
We have plenty of credits from last Sunday.
1 minute. Oh, there was enough tipping over for last Sunday to last till about
10 years.
Christmas time, or 10 years, yeah, whatever. Oh, the slate gets wiped clean at the end of the year. You know, you start afresh at the New Year's Day, I think.
Is one of our rookies, the Thurlow Fisher practicing lawyers, compensation lawyers. New crew
I think the
this year.
DeLonghi might have been in the tide, Kilo.
Oh.
Well, they had that spinning.
Oh, they had the, yeah. Might have cashed in the chute.
Yep.
Feel like I got the battery. I was going to carry it down and tell them.
What was that?
So it's all down. I was going to change the battery.
You got to change the battery. Chips.
No, I can do it. You just got to.
No, we've got to turn the live view off.
Yeah.
We're going to turn the live view off again. So don't change it until you got the battery in your hand.
Yeah, you got furlough
Right.
coming
Well,
back.
wait till Chips tells you because he's got to turn the live view on it.
Furlough coming back over here.
Got it.
Do we just pause it, Killer?
Yeah, just. Okay, folks, just had to do a battery exchange, and we try to do it a bit better this week, as we got the audio out of sync when we turned it back on last week. So hopefully that's got us all squared away and back in business. So, who's our leader? Oh, there's Smeg right off our bow. Our leader's still in front of this heat 4. Rag and Famish, they're not going away, they're giving it all they got. Right over here in the middle, Max Tide, Thurlow second, and Marcus Ashley third. Triple M has dropped back a bit somehow with that second rig.
A mighty flying saucer, Killer.
Yeah. Tommy Anderson's boys and Tommy Clout on the appliances well out the back door today. They had a swim, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been standing on the
That's right, on
the sliding plank.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it.
So we wouldn't put the glasses down, Kilo, but the Smeg looks to have this well in hand. Stretched out to about a minute 10, I would say. So they've gained.
And
Solidly.
Thurlow stretched.
Yeah, and Thurlow's given Asco a bit of a touch-up somehow. Asco got in a bit of trouble with this, with the ferry/spectator traffic. Cooper's marching up to Asco here, Bob, so we might keep an eye on this, eh?
Yeah. Well,
And the rag looking pretty comfortable here. Sorry, the Cooper 62 rag. Up range, but not untidy whatsoever. Just nice flick inside out on the top of the main. Tune looks good, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. The main looks very deep though through the middle. I don't know how.
They sort of have to over twist the head a bit, so the middle edge keeps them up a bit. It's got enough riding moment. It seems like that works better than a flatter one, and it's a bit different to the 16 where you got no riding moment.
Yeah, well, I think if they can stay in touch with Asco here, a bit of extra sail area coming home well.
Looking up the track, the breeze is faded up the top. We're looking at Smeg in the right-hand distance,
yeah.
And they're barely full power going into George's Head. So the big rig could come back. And we're looking at them here, Kilo, in the middle of the harbour, in more breeze, and the leader, they've got no hope of catching the Smeg, I don't think, but they're marching up to the Thurlow here.
There's a lot of golf left, bro, and this breeze has shown signs of doing this up and down. We've been up and down all afternoon.
Up and down like something I can't even say on air.
Elbow, I think it is. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Dead right. You can see him straight through there. So, go mighty rag.
So the strange nuances of an east nor'easter on the Sydney Harbour, and the rag going for centreboard fully down. So with big rig, they're going back to full board, which increases the hydro and aero force. And wow, more power to them. Look at them go. Bit more jib on, boys. Good to go. Wow.
Smeg low and slow in front of us.
Yeah, Smeg barely going forwards, in fact.
Well, they can smell it, that's for sure. They know what their job is. Get to the front. That's what they'll be thinking about.
So, far from a deficit for the beat, the rag will be looking at a gain here of, well, something worth having anyway, 20 seconds or so. perhaps even a little more. Breeze back in at the top, on the left edge. So the Smeg back to full load. And the Asco
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary on the right-hand side.
What's these waves, Blakey? On the boom.
Kilo's found the roughest bit of harbour as usual.
God, took my eye off it. Sorry. Oh, man.
Kilo was going for a nicotine break, but the water got too rough and the cigarettes got wet, so it didn't happen.
There we go, we're back. This whole chasing pack, the big rigs, are relishing in this last half of the beat, and this breeze has dropped down, so could be an interesting dash to for the cash today, boys.
Well, I think actually the Smeg did well there. They toughed it out on the left edge and went to the puff at George's, on the other side of George's head. And Jackie McCartney's got a little puzzle here because he's in less air now and he's in no man's land a bit in the middle. And
look at Asco. Asco's right up.
Asco's gone hard right. Jack has to tack back. He has to tack back. I think. No hope in the middle here. Good breeze on the left, good breeze on the right. Not too much.
You can just see Asco. Blake's got the camera. You can see Asco around the jib of Rag and Famish. So he's cashed some money in over there, big time. And how do you reckon he's going with Thurlow?
Thurlow's still second.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Close.
I reckon. We'll go and have a look.
Ye of little faith. But the breeze has gone soft and east. Amazing. If it's gone that far east, though, also, Asco's over the ley line.
I reckon Asco's got him from my side of the boat. Close.
Certainly close.
Asco's on starboard just for... so he's got him.
He wasn't going to cross him, so...
There you go.
Asco into second. Amazing. Well done to the Asco guys.
Cash the money in, back into second. Now. I tell you what, it's going to be a really tough finish. Smeg should get there comfortably, but second and third for the podium will be a doozy. And I'm pretty happy. I've got Smeg to win, so I've got a point today. I can't remember what order I had, where I had Rag and Famish if I end up. But I had Asco to come second.
You didn't have Thurlow, so I think you had the Rag for third, Kilo, so you're in pretty good nick.
Well, that's major for me. 2 points. It's not over though. I'm not banking them. Don't worry.
Yeah. And how much is the prize money? We didn't ask about that.
We're not playing for. It's not pay to play. Pay to play starts on the 4th. I'm glad you reminded me, bugger. Pay to play starts on the 4th of December, and we'll be letting you all know about that. We've got some information just to remind everybody and see if you get your family and friends playing, because I think you'll have a lot of fun with this, particularly if you form a group and all pick together.
Blakey, Kilo, just have a look out to the left here. We've got the powerboat parade. There's nothing smaller than 45 feet in the parade, and the girls and boys coming back from somewhere, Store Beach or
it's a race.
Castle Rock, making waves is my point, I suppose.
Well, at least they're on the other side of the harbour.
Yeah.
Our fleet's on the east,
Yeah.
so that's good. So here's our leader.
And not very windy at the windward mark here, is it, Bob? Breeze,
Right.
breeze 12, 14.
Right and down.
Nothing too serious.
Got big rig all over it right now.
Yeah.
So, 2 legs to go for the Smegglers. Can they hang on?
Easy work.
Easy work.
Easy work.
Well, don't know what the breeze is doing in Rose Bay while we're up here.
But he doesn't have any risk here, Bob. He can just do it there away.
I know, he's got the comfort, for sure.
Absolutely no decision to make.
Well, they've earned that position.
Exactly.
Now,
And you know, he's been up and down here enough times to get the 2 jibes right into shark. They went a little far the first time. We'll have learned something from that. And we see the Coopers still pressing along here.
Yeah.
And you'd have to favour the Coopers to get on the podium here, wouldn't you, mate? From here.
Well, it's
The Thurlow coming back pretty slow from
the door's open.
from the left edge. Thurlow ducking behind Asco. Oh, and Thurlow in the tide. Oh, there's the opening door, Bob. Who would have thought?
Well, the door's completely open, and get the barbecue out for the balcony, I would have thought.
Yeah.
It is, maybe. I can't remember.
No, I think it is. I think he said Smeg Asco Cooper's 62.
Oh, let's see. I'll be delirious if that's happened. A podium. I haven't done that for a long time.
Thurlow will maintain, I think, 4th, despite having a little bath. Wow, the Asco having a bit of trouble on the set. Wow. Pretty good set though, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly they get it sort of going and then jump out on the wing and put the hammer down.
Well, we'll just
Tag
tag along.
Harris having a go here.
Yeah. Back in the office.
Not standing on the sheet though, so a little bit slow. Bit of safety first, maybe.
Can they get to second?
Yeah. The leader having a little interview with a cruising boat. But wow, nice depth here for the Coopers out of the set. So, given all things, you'd expect them to be in front of Asco by the bottom.
Was that Jackie smiling?
Yeah, that was Jack. That was Jackie enjoying his
Look
his-
forward.
Yeah. So the difference in rig size here, giving all the options to the guy with the big rig, and the big rig guy sailing with all the crew on the end of the wing, able to sail a little faster and a little deeper than the boat with the number 2 rig, and just incrementally chip away.
Well, Jackie McCartney's boat, the Mighty Rag in front of us, is leading this championship quite comfortably.
Yeah, and they'd be pretty happy with their work today.
And this would just about wrap it up. There's one more heat next Sunday.
No, if they get 3rd today, they're done, mate.
Well, they are, because there's a drop that comes into play. So he's basically gone into second here.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Asco should dive here just to give them a little bit of courage.
Correct weight,
You got your message?
Jimmy, but it's an 18-footer and Might wins. The Asco will beat him down here easy. Asco's jibed in the wrong place in my
You
view
mean
there.
Coopers will beat them down?
Sorry, Coopers. Sorry. Kilo. Correction. Thank you for correcting me, Bob. It's good.
That's all right. I actually heard you. So Smeg gone right out wide to maximise his pressure, trying to make it hot. And I'll go down and have a quick look at that and see how they're progressing.
No, I think he's in a pretty good spot there, Bob.
Well, I don't know. He's got plenty on there at the moment. He's
Yeah.
made it hot at least anyway.
Yeah, he might be, if in doubt, the Smeg's gone a bit too far, but the Cooper's going for a bit of stuff at Nielsen. Got a couple of cruising boats who've gotten out of the way this time.
Wants to be careful with that.
Yeah. But he's good, he's clear. And he gets a pretty good look at it from that line, Bob. He goes to the point, jibes, and can get a clear look at the back of the leader and gain intelligence from the puff lull sequence that the leaders had.
Well, they're slowly catching up to our leader. He looks like he's made a real good job of this, as you would expect. Mr. Napton.
Yeah, they were 100 yards lower the first time down, and he's corrected that misjudgment. The wind essentially the same as the first lap, I think, now. We still got a bit on.
Well, you bet your life they won't want to capsize it. Their minds are full of last Sunday, so they want a clean slate today and take the win. Would be nice. Ricky Bridges Oh, sorry, Michael. Mike McKenzie, I always get confused. Yeah, he's got his hands full. Take a step back. Big waves coming.
Yeah, it's a big powerboat wash. So the Coopers has jived on the starboard a bit further back up the track.
Well, they've ended up quite high here, these guys.
Oh, they're good, Kilo. I think the judgment's good. They've got a good puff with header in it now, and they will run us over if we're not careful. And the Coopers gets a good look at it, and the Coopers has jived a little conservatively, I think, but in good condition. So these guys are still 3 strings to get to the mark. So that's pretty good stuff, mate.
Mikey McKenzie's got to work that rail. Wow, they've got a hottie there.
You know, pretty fine needle to thread this one because of the way the wind rolls over the hill on the windward side of the course. The needle, the needle's only about 30 metres wide, I would estimate, and but they've done well.
They're there. There is.
They're perfect. I'm very happy they've got one. If we look back, the Coopers is in front. They might be a fraction high. So Blakey, maybe if you want to look back now.
We'll let our leader go. I think the fun is between these two. He's going to win it.
The Smeg has gone, and the Coopers 62 is on the ley line now, Jimmy. So full pressure, hammer down, comfortably in second. The only issue now is can they get up to the mark? A minute ago they were looking for depth, and now guess what?
Flip side.
The joys of Rose Bay, isn't it, Bucko?
That's
well,
what it's called.
That headland, isn't it? That Catabatic.
It's the problem of the headland, and it looks like now the Asco's too low now. How about that, eh? And yeah, more coming for the rag. So they've done a pretty good job. They're a bit conservative, I thought, but and you can probably say that still, but better they do that than flap their way in.
They've just got a podium, don't they, to bring it over?
Yeah.
Conservatism at this stage of the race is a good thing to do.
Yeah, they're not necessarily trying to win. The Asco's there comfortably after all that. 4th is now Noakes Youth. 5th, I think, Thurlow. Compass up too high though, Jimmy. We'll probably have to jibe out. So
he's come through, hasn't he, Keegan?
Yep. No, they've so well from being a fair way back at the first mark.
Yeah, I think as dust wore off on the crew, come good.
Yeah. You're saying the harbour life.
Yeah, but
those two boys won Matty and Gus won the 16s yesterday, so they partied like there was no tomorrow.
Like they won the America's Cup or something.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Matty early, and he was going back down to the beach to have a second swim because the first one didn't do too much to help him.
The Coopers surely has to jibe early here, Jimmy, don't you think? Like they're running deep here.
Look out!
If you look at Smeg down here,
they're high
very soft
and soft. Yeah.
Here goes the Coopers now.
Get on this action.
Yeah. Oh, the Asco, not so good. I guess the Coopers maybe just think that they just have to run deep, and as we pointed out, they don't have to win the race to win the title. I think this is a 13. They've got 2 wins up their sleeve, so
this is the 4th heat today.
But Asco can make life fairly difficult for them because
Sevy's sitting there just watching every move.
Yep.
Braggs is making.
Yeah. But in the end, the rag can just put a guy in and sail through the leeward of them. So,
well, they're going to make them do that.
Gamesmanship or tactics going on here.
Yep.
Problem is, I think the rag they go above them, but the Asco to the little rig isn't
a dial up.
favourite move.
No, I mean the rag had to either jibe early or just seek the low road. Anyway.
Right now he's got an effective block.
Yeah,
very effective.
Pretty tough to pass from there.
Back move along.
Gotta keep you cool.
Tried that a few times.
It's a good.
Worse.
It's a good gun. So in the end, you know, the rag perhaps just has to hunt them up and then jibe.
Well, you get a look at our leader in this lineup through the back of Rag and Asco. There's Smeg, jibe back to lay the finish line, I would imagine.
Exactly correct, Bob. Smeg going to win the race by nearly 2 minutes, or
at least.
Yeah, 2 minutes, something like 2 minutes. Particularly if these guys play ducks and drakes all the way to the finishing line, which appears to be more than likely. So they're now into pressure. I don't know what the Coopers are doing, but the Coopers might just be pretty relaxed about this, I think, actually.
They just need a little puff to unsettle the trim a bit and see what happens. And be ready for it.
Calm heads.
Yeah.
Something off relate to the 18s with.
And I think you're about to see it here. The Coopers is going to go for soak and just out-soak them to the line. And now the Asco's got the problem because the Asco can't jibe now.
Yeah.
So the Coopers, if they just sail their boat a little bit
Deep.
deep.
Well, watch the boys coming from behind
Yeah,
as well.
they do.
Playing games here.
They do have to be aware. The fleet's coming at them at high speed. You can't run square in these boats, so this is terribly slow. And there's plenty of action here.
Well, he's calling him up now.
Overlap's broken.
Doesn't matter, you know.
Overtaking boat.
Marcus is pretty confident he's going to get there by the look of that. But
Smeg has crossed the line. Good job, you guys.
here we go. The Rag's going to have a shot. All the Rag can do is hunt him up and get to
then duck.
Get out to the jibe mark and jibe. Here we go. Big shot, little shot. Better make up your mind, boys. You're running out of runway.
Going for the high road.
And they're now overlapped, and now the advantage goes back to the Asco. Oh well, Kilo, let's get downwind of them a little bit and shoot the...
Well, they've got to go. They've got to jibe to get there.
Yeah, they do have to jibe. And Asco's got all the cards now, really.
You'll go right to the lane.
Coopers has to jibe now to be any chance. Yep. But not a good enough jibe, unfortunately, I don't think. The Asco's going to get second. That's okay. Well done, guys.
Good racing, and that might have saved my podium.
Nice.
Possibly.
Yeah, Kilo.
Might have.
I could hear Jack and Sharko talking about that, you know. Kilo's on us for third. We have to do a good job here. All good. And so, first Smeg, second Asco, third Cooper's 62 Rag and Famish, fourth, Compass Markets and Noakes Youth.
That's a close affair.
And that's a close affair. And fifth, sixth Peroni, seventh Thurlow. Same deal here a bit.
Big rig versus a little.
Yeah. Like Compass Global Markets.
I think he's there. Compass.
Yeah, he's there. Compass. He's got to do a jibe though, Kilo,
Yeah.
but he's
Well,
there.
take his starboard.
He's there. He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, it's close though. Closer than it looked. Nice jibe though on the Compass. Beauty. Cracker. So they're both hot enough at least. Well, Noakes Hughes having a bit of trouble for one reason or another.
Pick the podium, people. There's a bit of hot sailing from the Compass guys. So
Wow.
put that down on a piece of paper.
But look how much east is in that.
Yeah.
That's the last weather comment for the day.
We're only making it.
And Ashland got some more points. You could end up third in this championship. The Noakes Youth didn't start last week, but that'll be his discard. But he's had a couple of podiums just off the back this time. Nick Daly, Peroni, and Michael Coxon.
After a quick bath up near the windward mark, the Thurlow chucked the tools out of the cot for a second. And the Yandu next, also with big rig. So I guess, Kilo, fair to say that big rig was feasible after all. The breeze built momentarily and in spots, but never got to that uncomfortable place.
Well, Smeg were probably happy to win the race with their second rig, don't you think?
Oh, completely. That suits them. They're not the heaviest crew in the fleet by any stretch, and so mid-range they're very, very comfortable.
Well, the next boat to come across will be the mighty Dr. Dan, the Triple Emler. They got shuffled back in all of that big rig attack. They've had a good day. They'd be happy with that. Just to have a clean race, show some form.
And briefly, they were in 4th place, I think, at one stage. So maybe they got recalled.
Okay, that's a wrap on Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss Sunday. We hope Alex's foil repair's going well. We wish him well with the grinder and the epoxy.
Yeah, well, he's got to do it, eh? So hopefully you'll get that, and you might tune in wherever he is on the ocean next Sunday to watch Heat 5, like all you others. Hopefully you'll come back with us next Sunday. Thanks, Jimmy Brewery, for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
Bringing a bit of fun from the Manly 16-footers. Bucko, as usual, thanks for coming, brother. Blakey Kirby, up there in the cage, squeezing the trigger, and Chits, freezing frames like a demon on the back deck. That's it for us. Thanks for coming along. Hugo Boss Sunday, out from the Camera Cat. See you next Sunday.
Standing by.